Hi, I'm Olivia, and I'm going to be comparing two different cultures and dance styles from the dance film video. And so the two cultures that I chose are the Chamorro culture and the American Samoa culture. The Chamorro culture they explained, is a very, very old culture that kind of was like pushed away, like we've learned many cultures have been. And so many of their dances were kind of lost during this. And so they said something about how the dances haven't been performed traditionally since like 1960. And so they've just now like started preserving the dances again and bringing them back. And obviously they might be a little more modernized now, so they're not the exact traditional dances. And so then with the dances though, they really value chants in their dances, and the chants are all about praising their land and the history, since that's what they want to preserve, like in their culture, is the land that they came from and the history of this land. And then they also value compassion, so like allowing people to come and be with them and join their land. And it also said that they really value finding who you truly are, because they said people have identity crises and they like want to allow people to dance and figure out who they are and where they came from. And then American Samoa, their dances are much more upbeat. So I guess I didn't really talk about the Chamorro culture dances. Those are more like rhythmic, and they chant a lot and they go to like a drum. And then American Samoa, they also go to a drum and they have chants, but it's much more of an energetic dance, almost like it looks like they're doing a workout. And it said that this allows them to kind of express their joy and their creativity. And so there's one specific dance that they do, that's the slap dance. And they said that its origin is unknown, but that it may have come from the fact that they have a lot of mosquitoes where they are, so they may slap. So that just kind of represents the land where this culture came from. And they also value community. Their chants are about welcoming people in, and their chants are also about their land and history, because that's what they kind of want to preserve in their culture. Another thing that I heard in their chants were that they were about God. So I feel that the American Samoans are more centered on God-focused ideals, and maybe the Chamorro culture is more about land and finding your highest, truest self. And then so the American Samoa they also have a high knees dance, like I said, that looks like they're practically doing a workout. And so now I'm going to mix three movements from each dance to kind of just show the comparison and like contrast of the dances. So from the Chamorro culture, the dance that they started with was they kind of hit both sides and were like dancing side to side. And I noticed a similarity in the American Samoan dance, because they kind of do where they like go more side to side and like hit their hands. So that's what I'll start with. So I'll go like this, and like the hands kind of hit. And then in the American Samoa, they just kind of like hit their hands side to side. And so then I'm also going to mix the next step with the Chamorro culture, is they kind of do this where they go forward and slap their hand. And the American Samoas do the same, because after they go side to side like this, they go forward and do it this way. So that's kind of the comparison that I found between those two. And then this last one is kind of where things like you can see the contrast in the energy levels and the dynamics. And so I'm going to start with the high knees, which is, like I said, the high knees dance that they do. And it's more of like this. And then this one's from the Chamorro culture, which shows the difference in kind of the dynamics of the dance, which this one's more slow and peaceful. And then the American Samoa dance is more of a high knees exercise. So I'm going to do all the steps together. So it starts with the Chamorro culture. step, then the American Samoa. Oh, sorry, I'm actually going to restart that. It starts with the Chamorro culture step, and then you go to the American Samoa step where you kind of hit side to side, and then the Chamorro culture step where you kind of go forward, and mixing that to compare with the American Samoa. And then we'll do the high knees from the American Samoa dance and the Chamorro culture to show the piece. So this just kind of shows the comparison and contrast of where the Chamorro culture more values like serenity and peace. That's why it's more slowed down, more controlled, and this just kind of really shows that contrast. And the American Samoas are more lively and energetic and trying to go, trying to be their best selves. So those are the comparison and contrast of the Chamorro culture and the American Samoa culture.